Welcome everyone to ONLC's third part of our apprenticeship, exploring apprenticeship programs for Indigenous learners webinar series. Today we have Tricia Albino, and her colleague, Ken Bird. And they are from the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. And they're going to talk a little bit about the Indigenous programs that are available within their union. And I hope that you can ask some questions and gain some knowledge and because I'm very excited about the webinar itself. So take it away, Tricia and Ken. Thank you.
Okay, and it is Tisha. And my pronouns are they, them. It's okay if people forget. It happens, and so don't worry about it. And when you remember, please do remember. And I'm with the IBEW, and Ken is going to be mostly our spokesperson here because he's the expert in the room on the program we're going to talk to you about. So I'll let Ken take over from here. And I'm going to post the website now that we're going to be talking about in the chat.
Good morning, everybody. I'm glad you're here. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Tisha. I'm Ken Bird. I'm from the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. I'm an electrician, a lineman, and an NCS specialist, which is what we're going to be discussing today. That's the network cabling specialist. So does anybody have any beginner questions for me, or would you like to learn more about the program itself, what it entails? I guess I'll go forward. The program itself is called Network Cabling Specialist. What we do is the backbone for all of our internet, all of our Ethernet, Rogers cable, fiber optics. It is now going to be the new wave of the future. What people don't realize is that homes are going to become low voltage and or wireless. As we all know, we all have Wi-Fi. So it is a wave of the future.
Just checking with you, Ken. Does everybody see the shared screen? Because I'm getting something funny on my screen.
I've got better education. Yeah.
Yep, perfect, good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tisha. So as I was saying, it's the backbone to the new future. 120 is going to be, as it always is, for your receptacles in your house and power to the distribution. But the network cabling is now going to be our lighting, our desktops. It's going to be a very, very huge industry at one time. Even as we speak right now, I've got approximately 40 calls with the IBEW that I cannot fill, which is very sad. I've got a lot of contractors dying for employment, and I cannot fill the calls. So what we're trying to do through the provincial government is make this a red seal trade. What I mean by a red seal trade is that it is not sanctioned by the government as a trade. For example, plumbers, electricians, steam fitters are all a red seal trade, where the networking cabling is not. It's been somewhat of a, I don't even know how to put the term, somewhat of a cowboy field. Everybody does it. Nobody gets paid properly for it. Contractors take advantage of their workers. And that's why the IBEW has stepped in, and we're with the provincial government and the CCO, which is a Construction Council of Ontario, to make this a red sealed trade that everybody recognizes across the province of Ontario. Michelle.
So let me know, Ken,
Yes.
what you want me to press on the website so we could show it to the participants.
Okay, if we
do
could,
wages.
let's start with wages, please, if you don't mind.
Okay. Okay, can you everybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we look here, I'm just going to keep my camera off. Oh, Michelle has you have your hand raised. No, okay. All right. So if we look here, these are different wage packages. Can you speak a little bit about them, Ken? Do you want me to click on them?
Actually, that is, excuse me. If you don't mind, I'll start at the bottom, which is a cable
Okay.
installer. So now the wage that everybody is seeing there, 28.27, is our total package. Oh, thank you, Tisha, right underneath it.
You're welcome.
So when people see that number, they assume that is what is on their check. That's not correct. The base rate on your paycheck will be 20.01. And then you're going to notice the other numbers underneath it, which is your vacation, your pension, and your benefits, administration. We also have RPs. So that number you're seeing, the 28.27, is the total package for a cable installer. Just so everybody's clear, I don't want a lot of people see that number. Oh, that's on my check, yay, because that is a substantial amount of money. But just so they know, the 28.27 is a total package number. As we go up to an apprentice level, it's very much the same thing, but as we progress, so now you're apprentice level 1. Now you see your base rates went up. That's after 1,800 hours. And that goes through the employer plus the IBEW. Once you do your hours, we all work together with the employer to make sure that you're progressing to where you should be. But now you're going to notice that numbers, as they progressively go up, the numbers get a little bit larger. Obviously, because now you're becoming an apprentice 1. Then we become the journeyman level 1. So once again, the number is 33 total package, but on your check is 24.17. But then your pension goes up per hour. Now, all of these things, we're in the process of new negotiations for next year. We're going to be trying to increase some of these numbers, especially the pension for the network cabling. It's a little bit lacking from where we are in the ICI sector, but we are definitely working on that. I just got out of a meeting this morning where all of these numbers we're trying to increase next year, even the base rate. So as you get up to tech, we'll go to tech level 2. As you see, all the numbers progressively get higher, a little bit more in your pension, your vacation pay goes up. And then once you get to level tech 3, NCS level, then you can also write the NCS, which is your network cabling, which is actually a provincially notified license. It's called a 631A, whereas an electrician is a 309A. Now you're a licensed Tech 3 technician, recognized by the schooling aspect of it, but it's still not it's not going to be something out in the field where it's registered yet. That's exactly what I'm working on now over the next year. So you're a red seal trade. Is there any questions you'd like to ask about?
Ken, maybe if you could ask or tell them how long it takes to get from one level to, like in years, so they get an idea, if you don't mind.
Oh, not a problem, Tisha. Thank you very much for that. So as you progress from cable installer to apprentice tech 1 is approximately 1,800 to 2,000 hours. And actually, it is pretty much a standard number. So cable installer to apprentice tech 1 is 1,800. Apprentice tech 1 to tech 2, 1,800 hours. Everything is based on the 1,800 hours. So the approximate total time from beginner as a cable installer to the finished NCS, hopefully by this time it'll be a registered red seal trade for all it is, and working with the IBEW and all of us, and we'll have a great time, will be just over 5 years.
Okay. Sorry, come back on camera. Sorry if I'm looking away, it's just because I'm looking at my other screen, so I apologize for that. But if you look at the website here, right, it just read below what's here. Each local has an apprenticeship council to manage apprentices, which means you have help along the way, right? Working with each one to ensure skills training is going well. The council team members are available to help if questions or challenges come up, and apprentices in the IBEW never have to worry about being officially registered because the council makes it happen. You're also given the opportunity to complete your apprenticeship in a timely manner. So after each term of your training is completed, you'll automatically get the raise you're entitled to. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Thank you, Tisha. And also, sorry,
ahead.
Tisha, go. No, go ahead, please.
No, I was just going to bring this up. So IBEW has the highest completion rate for apprenticeship in the electrical industry, 95% or better.
And on another note with that, all of our training now with the new program for NCS, I have, as of right now, I have 3 of the best trainers. So they do all of your education in-house at one of our locals, depending on what's closest to where you live. So we have halls in Kitchener, London, Toronto, Mississauga, Barrie, Oshawa, whatever's closest to the person. We're going to try to make it most convenient for you so that it's not an uncomfortable experience leaving your area, if that helps anybody. We just want to make sure we've got all the best trainers, all of our classrooms are in-house at one of our locals. And we're trying to make the experience for everybody closer to their home so that they can succeed and not to be too far away from home or too uncomfortable.
Okay, and I'll just, talk about this page here. So these are the kind of things you'll be learning in the program. Just a desire to learn is important, right? Because there is classroom time, there's on the job, there's shop time, there's different things, hands-on experience that they're going to teach you. So if you look here, you're going to learn about safety. Really important to us on the job is safety. And so we really try to stress that. There are codes and standards that we have. So that's a little bit of difficult to read, but it's just being familiar where to find things in the codes and knowing that you're following the regulations. Remember, the code is about safety in the end. All these codes were made up because somebody probably got hurt along the way somewhere. So the codes are really, really important. So we really do stress quite a bit of time on that. And you'll learn it on the job as well. Your mentor, whoever that might be, will be telling you on a constant basis, you have to do this and you have to do that. Trade calculation. So that's why the math is really important, because there are calculations that have to be made on the job, and communication wiring methods, terminating and splicing. So all the hands-on stuff, installation techniques. It's a lot of fun too, I have to tell you. Like when I took the program, and I still, even as an electrician, I still find it fun when I get to get my hands on stuff, because now I'm in the office. But traffic signal cabling. So basically, I won't go through it all. It's all on the website. So if you didn't yet, make sure you copy that link I put in the chat so that you can play around with the website yourself. I gave it to you because it's a little hard to find when you start Googling. So I want to make sure you're in the right place. Do you want to go to employers next, Ken? Or something else here?
Or actually, let me just top up on something, like, so everybody understands, I'm an NCS recruitment coordinator. Now, just so you have a background of the IBEW, Tisha, what's your title?
I am the Human Rights Business Representative.
So just so everybody knows, we have human rights representatives, we have a communication rep. So he looks after you. If you have a problem or you're having trouble learning, we're more than willing. You have a support team that is absolutely huge. I mean, from instructors to human rights to even your friends, myself, you can call me anytime. You just got to realize that we're a team, and it's a group of friends.
It's a good point, Ken. Yes. Yeah, we're really, I mean, it is about solidarity. It is about, what's nice about being in the union as well is it's very egalitarian in a lot of ways, because if you're the next one on the list to be dispatched, you're the next one on the list to be dispatched, right? So as someone who's not a man on the job, I in the non-union area, I would have been a lot more worried, but in the union, I feel like I'm treated like everybody else for the most part. Of course, we always run out into the odd person that may be a problem on the job. And that's why it's important for us to have the representatives that you can call, people who will back you up and stand behind you, like Ken, like the people that in the program, the NCS program, and all your reps and shop stewards and safety people. So we really have a lot of support on the job site. Should we talk? I don't know what's next is, but employer partners, should we go there next, Ken?
Sure.
Okay, now we're gonna go here.
Sorry, Tisha, did you put my email address up yet? So any of the
I'm
people
going
that
to do that
are-
next while you're talking about this one.
Anybody that's a little nervous that doesn't speak, I know it's a little tough. I'm a little nervous myself, of course. But if you want to email me or call me, please feel free. I'd love to answer any questions that you don't want to do during this webinar.
Oops, your OETTF one, right, Ken?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And feel free to put my phone number, Tisha. I do not mind at all, my IBEW number.
Okay, I will find that and do that.
Uh,
Are any of these videos good to watch? Should I
I
play
do
one
the
of them
Smith
for
and
now?
Long. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind playing the Smith and Long one, actually.
Okay, let's see. I think I have to stop share and share again because I got to optimize sound so everybody hears it properly. So I'm going to do that, stop share, and then I'm going to share with optimized sound. I've learned this along the way that this is what we need to do.
Thank you, Tisha. You're my godsend.
Okay, and I will play this video while I'm looking up Ken's information for you. Can everybody see that? Thumbs up from Michelle if you can see that and hear it.
Hi,
Yes, that's
I'm
clear.
Stephen Martin, Business Manager, Financial Secretary of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 353. Local 353 represents nearly 11,000 highly qualified, skilled workers in every aspect of the electrical industry. Part of our growth strategy for 2018 and 19 is to attract more non-union contractors by using existing 353 contractors to explain the benefits and reasons to being part of IBEW Local 353.
Hi, Rob Rapel here, President of Smith & Long since 2009. Smith & Long is a full-service electrical mechanical service provider working in the commercial, institutional, and industrial spaces. I've been asked to share some of the benefits of being a signatory to IBEW 353, as we have been for over 80 years, and I'm very pleased with the caliber of the electricians and technicians that work for us. Our company has been around since 1930. We were the first in the industry to successfully merge electrical and computer fields, developing expertise in UPS systems, data communications cabling, and large generator battery installations. Today, we employ over 200 members of the IBEW Local 353 as they set the benchmark for training and skills, and can help us ensure that our clients receive the best value and quality. We attract the most challenging and complex projects, and I'm proud to say that over the last 10 years, we've been the fastest growing electrical mechanical company in our market. Smith & Long is like a large family. We work together in a collaborative environment and, as a result, have many loyal long-term employees. Currently, our longest standing journeyman has been with us for over 45 years.
Hi, I'm Roger Severin, Director of Critical Facilities here at Smith & Long, proud member of 353 IBEW, and it's been a great year for all of us.
We support our team members to continue learning no matter what stage in their career. We constantly invest in upgrading their technical skills. Every year, our electricians take advantage of the many technical courses available at the Local 353 training centers.
Hi, I'm Susan Borman, Director of Education and Training, IBEW 353. We recognize that in order to keep pace with the ever-changing and evolving technologies, directly and indirectly related to our industry, we must keep pace within the Education and Training Department. We plan to work on developing new courses and updating existing courses to give the members the best learning experiences possible. The courses we have available for our members ensure that our electrical workers are the most skilled and safest electrical workers within our diverse industry.
We excel at complex and undefined work, ranging from data centers to hospitals to the City of Toronto's largest transit infrastructure expansion in the last decade. And we are pleased to have recently completed a 5-floor expansion of the Amazon offices in the downtown core. We respond to emergency service calls faster than anyone with our trademarked response teams. With over 100 trucks in southwestern Ontario, 100% of our calls are responded to in less than an hour. We are the fastest growing electrical mechanical company in our market, and without IBEW Local 353, we would not be able to facilitate our growth rate and continue to service our clients with the highest caliber of service.
We work with over 6,500 Ontario electrical contractors and businesses, and their employees are committed, loyal, and highly skilled assets. Smith & Long is just one of the electrical contractors that benefits from union affiliation. If you're a non-union contractor that is curious about how your company can benefit and grow from joining IBEW Local 353, contact me directly, and we will get you on the right road to growth. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we stopped. Did I stop sharing? Yes, good.
Thanks.
Moving my camera. Anything else you want to add there, Ken? About I just want to add, we that's a old business manager, by the way. This video was done last year, and we have a new business manager now, Lee Caprio. Ken, did
Thank
you
you,
want to add
Tisha.
anything?
No, I hope that gave a good basis to everybody out there of how the IBEW not only educates, but stays with the person as they progress through their trade or their industry, with not only our training, but like we said before, our shop stewards and our whole business reps. I hope that gave you a good basis of what the IBEW could do for you and what we can do for you and what you can do for us. We all have to work together as a team.
Yes. And while I'm going to just talk about something else real quick because I noticed we have a lot of time. Could you please type your questions in the chat? You might not come up with it right now, but as you come up with it, I'll just talk about something else. So how we got involved with Michelle here on the Ontario Native Literacy program that you run there is we are creating partnerships with the Aboriginal Apprenticeship Board, Ms. Wabeek, and we're working toward in promoting First Nations and Indigenous participation in our programs. So we really are motivated, and I know there's a lot of funding out there to help you out with that as well. But we're also trying to find ways to open our doors and make it easier for people from those communities and people of color and women to get into our programs. We are also trying to put together a entry-level trades training program with the IBEW, which is the electrical side. So the end network cabling specialist is one area of our industry. And then we have the electrical. It's a little harder to get in. It's harder to do the schooling a little bit, I think, would you say, Ken?
Yes, the schooling
Yeah.
is a little more difficult for the electrical aspect of it.
And it takes longer to go through the apprenticeship.
Yes, yes.
But the pay is about $10 more an hour once you're a journey person as well. So, but the math and the physics are, you don't need physics to get into the NCS program. It's just the math, right?
Just a high school transcript, your diploma. We need any one of grade 12 maths and any one of grade 12 Englishes. And there is some discussion now that there is a grade 11 math that will be acceptable. And as I've also spoke with the business rep for the communication sector this morning, he is actually going to accept some applicants that may not be exactly up to standard right away, but within the first 2,000 hours, if we can help you or ABO or any of the organizations we can help to get you up to the standard where you need to be, we would love to work with you and go get you moving forward.
Yeah, and I think ONL can help you with that, improving your school, your credentials so that you can do that. But what's nice is you could probably get, am I right, Ken? They can get into the cable installer earlier. Is that correct?
Yes, the beginning is cable installer. And if you're maybe shy in one course, we will give you the first 2,000 hours to bring you up to the standard. And then as long as you prove you're working at it, then you just keep progressing within your apprenticeship.
Yes. And for those who have their grade 12 math and physics, both of those, if that happens to be a group of you, then you can apply to get into hopefully our program that we're going to be doing, or apply directly to the IBEW. It's a bit of a process. I won't lie to you. It's not an easy one, but look to people with this group and other groups that can support you through that process. So there's something in the chat that says, please complete an evaluation of the webinar for ONLC. The link to the evaluation is, and it's coming, I guess. Okay, there it is. There's your link. Okay. Okay, so in the meanwhile, if you have any questions, I hope people can post questions. Can they, Sarah? Are they able to put it in the chat if they have anything?
Absolutely. Yes, they can, Tisha. Thank you.
Okay, good. Let's see. So you work with clients who may not have their high school diploma and are in Indigenous LBS program. So yes, do you want to answer that, Ken? So they're asking, so you work with clients who may not have their high school diploma. Can you answer that, Ken?
Yes, like I was saying before, we're trying to work with you so that we can get you to get your high school diploma. So we can give you that first 2,000 hours to make you work forward. So that as long as the end goal is you better yourself, which is amazing. And then you get your high school diploma and then you just keep progressing through your apprenticeship.
Yeah. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about, while we're waiting for more questions to come in, I'll talk to you a little bit about what it's like to be in construction. And Ken can speak to this from his point of view, but I loved it. I loved like just the way I loved being physical. I loved especially seeing my results at the end of the day. Sometimes it was the end of the week, sometimes it was the end of the month, but being able to turn on that light switch or that motor or whatever it is you're working on and knowing that you're a part of putting that together. Most of my work is done on, it was done in the West Coast. So I just remember driving by buildings that I was a part of and feeling proud to have been a part of that building. Here, I helped build the Vaughan Hospital. So I have a few projects I got to work out because I moved out here from Vancouver. And I also got to work on the Darlington nuclear station, which was very different and interesting to me. And what's great is the variety. I mostly did BC Hydro work, which was like bigger breakers, 500,000 volts from, 30, 60,000 volt substations. That was most of my experience. Then I came out to the Vaughan Hospital. Yeah, I see a question there. I'll just finish my comment. I went to the Vaughan Hospital and I worked on tiny wires, security doors. It was very new and different for me. And then I was working at Darlington Station, which was nuclear, and lots of regulations, lots of safety, lots of different things again. So if you like variety, I think electrical is a good way to go. And we'll just go to this next question here. Do you accept the GED or do you have to have the Ossgd? Ken, can you answer that?
What exactly? I'm sort of a little lost on the question.
So GED is your, can you answer that, Michelle or Sarah? GED is your high school GED.
Yeah.
This is an Ontario thing. So what is Ossgd?
GD, yes.
The Ontario Secondary School Graduation Diploma, and the GED is the equivalency.
I think the equivalent is acceptable.
Yes. As of right
Yeah,
now, it is acceptable under we're doing a provincial. I mean, for the NCS, it's provincial. They were trying to make it very stringent. We are in the works right now of saying, you know what, the equivalency is just as good. This person has worked hard to get it. So that is in the works.
Good.
As of right now, we are accepting it, but the provincial government has been fighting us a little bit.
Yeah, there's supposed to be some changes with the GED as well coming. So, and a lot of our programs work with the GED. So, and
Right.
That's what they're finding is that it's not being as readily accepted, but yeah, it's a good step towards their high school diploma. So
Yes, and I agree. And I mean, they've worked hard to get that. They've actually put some initiative forward, obviously. So that's what we're working on right now with the government, saying, you know what, these people have tried their best. They're not even their best. They're doing an amazing job. So that's in the works right now. That's in the talks with this morning's meeting, actually.
I have a question. Tisha, you talked about having worked on larger projects, and like my understanding is that there's a different stream to like industrial electrical as opposed to, say, somebody doing a house or something like that. So is that true here in Ontario, Ken, that there's like, you know, she's talking about working on great big projects and everything, and yet in Ontario, I thought there was like, there's two streams. There's one for like the average housing person or something like that, and then there's an industrial one.
Yes, we have, actually, we have numerous sectors. We have residential, we have low-rise residential, we have high-rise residential, which is first housing, small condominiums, very extremely large condominiums. And then we go into a sector called ICI, which is industrial, commercial, institutionalized. So there is all those facets of electrical. We go from the houses all the way to the CN Tower, or the largest facility to distribute power, Darlington, Pickering. We have all facets of it. So if somebody enjoys residential, we'll put them in that and we'll let them enjoy their path. It just depends on the path that they prefer to choose.
Yeah, just to answer your question on the NCS, like the NCS is a whole different sector. And then we have our 309A. 309A, then you can do, you could be residential, low rise, high rise, and ICI, which is combined industrial, commercial, and institutional, which means hospitals, Darlington Station, big, like, you know, building for the TD Bank or something like that, like office buildings and things like that. Hopefully that helps.
So if a person were to go into, say, residential, and they decided that they wanted to work on the bigger projects, what's, you know, like how much time or how much more schooling do they have to do to jump to another sector?
They don't have to, when you're a 309A, you don't have to do any more schooling, but you do have to apply internally at the IBEW to change your classification. Because if you're classified as low-rise residential, it's different skills, right? So I think they just have to apply, but it's the same ticket, which is different for me than what it was in Vancouver, because in Vancouver we were just all electricians, whatever, wherever you went, you had the same thing. It's a little different here because they have a huge market in the residential, which is great. I don't think we have a lot in Vancouver. I think we almost have none. I think we just do ICI, but which also includes condos, which is a mixture of residential and commercial. So, but the houses in Vancouver, it's different. Here, if you start off in residential, you pretty much more or less stay there, but you can apply to change classifications. Ken, can you speak a little bit to that? I think you know more about that.
Yeah, so if you do start off, like Tisha said, if you start off as a residential electrician, you're still a 309A. The license does not change. It just means that your specialty was in that niche. Then if you choose to become an industrial commercial, you come to the hall, you propose it, you ask the question, of course, we're going to accept it. And then we try to train you. If you need a little bit of training to upgrade, we have a lot of upgraded courses. So we upgrade you a little bit so you're more familiar when you go to the job. We don't want you to go out to a contractor and you feel nervous or you can't do the job that he's expecting of you. So we do train you to bring upgrades, to upgrade you up so you're a more comfortable level.
Yeah, an example would be in houses, you would have just cable wires, and in industrial commercial, you'd have to know how to pipe bend. So there's a lot of different skills that you would have to, that you haven't had the experience of when building low rise. Yeah, so Ken's right. I that's what they may have to do, because it would be not really fair to throw you in there not having that experience where the employer thinks, oh, well, what's wrong? You don't know how to bend pipe, right? So we have a lot, that's another advantage of the IBEW, is we have a lot of programs offered and training. People can constantly upgrade. So even if you think you want to go to that eventually, you could start coming and taking fire alarm courses and pipe bending courses or whatever at the IBEW at a really low cost, because we help subsidize most of it. And so there's a lot of opportunity to go up and advance. And then there's also, I want to talk about a little bit, you can eventually be a 4-person, you can eventually like do estimating, project management, like there's ways to work your way up. into different avenues of the IBEW as in the companies that you work for. So there's a lot of room for advancement, but if you're just happy going to work every day and just, doing your day's job and coming back home and not have to think about work after, some people really love that part of it too. And that's what they prefer, just to be with their families and not have to worry about the management aspect of stuff. Anything you want to add there, Ken?
Yeah, it's just with Susan Borman, you saw her in the video. She is our education director. We have so many courses for people. It's just unbelievable. And like Tisha said, we even have foreman courses. We even have steward courses. And if you want to become a CAD designer, we train you to become a CAD designer if you prefer office work. Some people love the office work, Zoom meetings. So then you become a project manager. You do that. I've been a superintendent all the way. From journeyman all the way to I ran saw Canada. I was the president. I know looking at me, it doesn't say a lot, but that's the avenues you can take if you choose to. There's just so many avenues.
And that's something else I wanted to mention too. With the IBEW, you can travel, right? So for one reason, we don't have a lot of work here. But let's say Vancouver has a ton of work, or Northern Ontario or Ottawa or other places. You can put in your travel card and you can say, okay, I'm going to go work there for a little while and do that as well. And also, I just want to mention, we also have things like programmable logic controllers, right? So we have if people love computers, they can learn how to program like all these robots and stuff or conveyor belts or whatever at manufacturing companies. So the variety is just incredible, I think. Sorry, Michelle, you had a question.
Well, I was just going to make a comment. I used to work with Grand River Employment and Training a few years back, and we had a pre-apprenticeship program for electrical. A number of our students became arborists, and started out there with Hydro One. And now I understand, I've ran into a couple of people, they moved on to linemen now. So they jumped from being an arborist and gone into becoming linemen now, which is like fabulous, I think. And one of my cousins who is an electrician used to work with Hydro, and he's retired now at a very young age too. He's younger than me. He also gets to go to, when they have the hurricanes, volunteers to go and help out in various countries and so on to help with the rebuilding of their communities. So just wanted to share that because I think it's fabulous.
Yeah, there's electricians beyond borders, right? There's engineers beyond borders, there's doctors beyond borders. But I found out there's an organization called Electricians Beyond Borders. And when Hurricane Maria happened in Puerto Rico, there was a huge contingent from some places in the US, from locals, from IBEW locals, who sent people down there to help with that. I don't think we did in Canada here, but because they're easily connected because it's American. Puerto Rico is not a state, but it's part of the United States. And so it was easier for them to do that. But it's amazing. And like we said, the variety, you could even end up working as a maintenance person eventually, like, which would be outside the IBEW sometimes. Sometimes you could work for the University of Toronto, say, or for a hospital as a maintenance person. Once you get all that experience, and then that just, some people like to do that even though they might make a little bit less money, it's a little more secure for them. They know they're going to be working there for the next 10 years, right? And have work. Sometimes it's a little bit less money, but security is the trade-off for some people. Ken, did you want to add anything there?
Yeah, actually, I've been working with I live on Georgina Island, so I'm right by the Georgina Chippewas with Donna Big Canoe. I've been actually trying to get a course set up to train a couple of people right on the island, because we just brought fiber over to the island for them, part of the network cabling.
Oh, wow.
So now they have fiber optics, but what we're trying to do is train a couple Indigenous people that live right on the island. Now they can do it. They can take care of their own stuff. If they have anything that's huge, they'll call IBEW or us. But I wanted to teach them to self-maintain their own stuff which is going to be amazing because then that'll be their full-time job.
We have
Yeah.
a LBS program on Georgina Island as well, so.
Oh,
we can
okay, so you know
talk
Mrs.
later
Big Canoe.
and
Oh, okay, that's
link-
great.
Link up something happening there.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So while I'm noticing we don't have a lot of questions coming in, but I noticed, do you think we could show that second video, Ken? Is it worth seeing?
I believe so. Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. I think
Yeah.
it's interesting because people get to see a little bit more of what's going on out there. So I'm going to show that second video. I'll share screen again. Oh, good. It's still optimized. And there we go. Can everybody see that?
Yes, we can,
Hi,
Tisha.
I'm Stephen Martin, Business Manager, Financial Secretary of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 353. Local 353 represents nearly 11,000 highly qualified, skilled workers in every aspect of the electrical industry. Part of our growth strategy for 2018 and 19 is to attract more non-union contractors by using existing 353 contractors to explain the benefits and reasons to being part of IBEW Local 353.
I'm Daniel Zafrani, Project Manager and Treasurer at Xerem Electrical Services. Xerem is a multitask contractor serving clients throughout the Greater Toronto Area. Our activities range from lighting or fire alarm retrofit projects to multi-million-dollar new high-rise condominium construction. My father, who was an electrical engineer, started the company back in 1995. In the beginning, the company and our workers were not a part of IBEW Local 353. Over the years, we were approached several times to join, and my father was a little hesitant, but in 2003, he agreed that Xerem would become a union shop.
At the time, I was somewhat reluctant, but I did not fully understand the benefits of joining. It certainly has changed our company for the better.
Being affiliated with Local 353 allows Xerem to bid on a wider range of government and municipal projects. It gives them access to the TTC, Toronto District School Board, Community Housing, Children's Aid Society, and they even help build the NORAD headquarters in North Bay. Today they have over 70 highly qualified electricians and about 14 office staff. Most of their work is high-rise condos, but they also have separate crews and a department for commercial projects. They have about 15 major projects going on at any given time.
A major benefit of being affiliated with 353 is when we land a project that requires us to staff up, I can call the dispatch at Local 353 and get 15 to 20 highly qualified electricians immediately to work for us, for as long as the contract lasts.
When one of our contractors requires extra manpower on a job, they place a call into the hall. Overnight, we will dispatch as many members as required to fill that need. We fill them with highly qualified, skilled tradespersons.
Our workers have completed over 6,000 residential suites and are happy to work for us. Xerem looks after all our workers. We keep them busy and they're very productive. Our focus on safety on the job sites is paramount.
Over the last 15 years, Xerem has grown because of their affiliations with Local 353. Their worker skills have improved and their talent pool has expanded.
In the future, we see more and more institutions investing in solar infrastructure, and Xerem is growing and developing experience and expertise in the solar panel installation projects. Yes, the future is definitely electric. Thank you.
We work with over 6,500 Ontario electrical contractors and businesses, and their employees are committed, loyal, and highly skilled assets. Xerem is just one of the electrical contractors that benefits from the union affiliation. If you're a non-union contractor that is curious about how your company can benefit and grow from joining IBEW Local 353, contact me directly, and we'll get you on the right road to growth. Thank you.
Sorry, it's taking me a minute to navigate all that. So I'm going to ask, no questions are coming in, so I want to ask Ken a question because I've known Ken for not very long now, but we're becoming close very quickly. And Ken is very interesting. He's done a lot of different things. So Ken, can you just share with the group a little bit of your history from the beginning of your career to where you are today?
With the IBEW.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I
please do.
started at 17 as a non-union electrical contractor with my brother. Then I learned a union. So at a very early age, 21, I got to the union. It was a different learning experience, believe me, from one aspect to the other, just somewhat two different worlds at the time when I did it. Then we moved into a bad time in the economy, so I left for a little bit. I came back to the IBEW, and I mean, I've come from journeyman to steward. I've been the steward on some of the biggest projects in Canada. I've traveled worldwide, actually, Alberta, America, doing electrical work. I've not only been a journeyman, a steward, a foreman, a general foreman, and a superintendent, but now I've had the pleasure of working with Lee Caprio, our new business manager for 353. I ran for president for IBEW last election. Came very close, but you got to try and keep trying. And now I've been hired by the CCO through a provincial grant to be the network cabling specialist recruitment coordinator. If that helps a little, Tisha. Is there anything else you'd like to hear?
No, I think that's great. And it just seems everywhere I go with Ken, he seems to know everybody. I don't know what it is about him. It's like, oh yeah, oh hey, I know you. That's great. Also, we do some volunteer stuff, and Ken has helped us with that. I actually have a nonprofit group where we're trying to help First Nations as well as anybody who's precariously housed. And Ken has come and helped us with that volunteer project. It's a little tiny home. And we're hoping to partner with some groups that are building, they're doing hands-on experience with different government programs. And we thought, hey, why don't we use those participants and build these structures so people can use them in their land. So we're in conversations with different First Nations and Indigenous communities to hopefully get this happening for them as well. So that gives them a little bit of experience. And then even though like we're trying to get you folks into electrical, there's a lot of other trades out there. If you don't think electrical is quite right for you, there's so many great trades out there, and there's so many great programs that give you a little bit of a sampling of a little bit of the carpentry and HVAC and plumbing and electrical. And then you can kind of it's more important for us that you find what works for you. Some people just want to be welders, for example. They just love that technical work and that precision work. And then doing the same thing all the time. They actually like that. And then working on big metal projects, or iron workers. Some people love climbing up on stuff and love the heights and love doing all those things. So I think Michelle and Sarah and all these folks here can help you with all those things as well. So I'm just so impressed with all the programs that are out there to try to help people, and that there are First Nations and Indigenous programs that will be out there to help get you folks where you need to be and try to get you employed in a good job that will help you have a good life and a living so that you can support your families. Anything you want to add there, Ken?
I've also worked with the Urban Res project, which is they work in the urban communities through the TCBN, which is a Toronto Community Benefit Network. And they all Urban Res, which is either urban properties and also res on the Aboriginal side. So there's so many things we can do together and try to bring the communities together. And like Tisha said, I mean, support your families, have a great career, which is what it is. I mean, and like Tisha said again, there is so many different, I mean, my son, for example, I'll give you an example. My son wanted to be an electrician because I am one. He did not have the schooling. He was not the school child. So I put him into carpentry. He is now 32 years old. He runs Skyway of Canada. And at 32 has his house and makes a very, very good living. And he loves carpentry. So there, like Tisha said, there's so many, I mean, it's not just IBEW. We have local 27 carpenters. We have UA 46 steam fitters and plumbers, insulators, wrappers, scaffolders. There's just so many facets of trade. It's whatever you prefer. It's not just IBEW, even though that's who we are. It's all a trade where all the community is a trades. All the trades are together.
And to speak a little bit about what another reason I love being a union electrician and being part of the union is a little bit of our money actually goes into things like the labor councils and the Ontario Federation of Labor and then the Canadian Labor Congress. These are different umbrella groups that they don't just fight for union workers, they fight for all workers. They actually are constantly lobbying the government to raise the minimum wage, to have universal childcare, universal pharmacare. And I'm really proud of that a little bit of what we make goes into those organizations that are fighting for all workers. So it's not only about us, the IBEW, and protecting our workers. Solidarity is about with all workers. And that's one of the things I love about the work we do. And I'm involved. I'm actually a human rights on advisory for the Canadian Labor Congress. And I'm also on the OFL, the Ontario Federation of Labor's executive board. And because I believe in that work so strongly, I believe in fighting for all workers, all peoples. So I'm really, really glad to be part of this webinar, and I'm really glad Michelle invited us to this. So I just want to feel I'm honored that you have me here. So thank you very much. And I don't know if Ken, if you have, and I think we're coming close to the end of the hour. So.
Yeah, I would like to thank Michelle also. I hope we got all your questions answered, but like I said, Tisha, thank you very much again for doing all the technical.
You're welcome.
Yeah, there's my email address, my phone number. Anybody that was not part of the webinar that has any questions, please feel free to put forward my name and number. I'd love to talk to them and see what avenue they'd like to go. If it's not IBEW, but maybe I can put them in the right avenue they'd love. Because I do like Tisha. Sorry, Tisha.
No, I was just going to say, and you know, if you can play with that website too. We do have about a few more minutes left. I just want to give people an opportunity if there's some more questions too. But I just wanted to say thank you before our hour runs out. Do you have anything else you'd like, Michelle?
If no one else has any questions, I just wanted to draw attention to the link for the evaluation for the webinar, and also to thank you both. You had a wealth of information that I'm kind of just processing, and I'll probably rewatch the webinar because the information that you provided was very informative but quick. So I need to go back and watch it again. And I don't know whether we have any more questions, but I do want to thank you. Thank you so much for doing the webinar. It's very informative, and someone said, I don't have a question. I just wanted to say I found this very interesting and informative.
Thank you very much, Rhonda.
Thank
and
you.
Michelle, I'd love to say thank you for having us. It was an absolute pleasure and an honor. Like I said before, please, if you have any questions or anybody, I can help them in any side of any of the trades. We all work as a team. We're all solidarity. It's union. So just being this big of a team, we can all work together and make this just go forward and get everybody to.
Thank you. We will post the webinar on our website, and because some people can't make it, or else, you know, maybe they're off or working with students and so on that can't participate, but we do offer it to people to view on our website. So and they usually get in touch with me about the presentation. So I will pass on your information since we have it. And if they have any more questions, usually I have to tell you this, that we usually have questions after the presentations. I don't want to ask during the presentation, but we usually have questions after the presentation. And
yeah,
so,
this is normal, and that's why we wanted to put the contact information there, because people are processing. Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you again. It was a pleasure.
Okay.
Thanks again. It was a pleasure. So if there's any questions, they have my number. Please tell them, feel free to call me anytime, all day today. I'll try to answer them. If I cannot answer a question, believe me, I will get the answer. With Tisha as my right hand and the union, we can always get the right answers for you.
For sure.
Thank you so much. Please fill out the evaluation. Jean. Oh, there's one more. Thanks for the information session from Lady Anne.
We really hope we were helpful to you on this.